Hello, welcome to my channel. I am Michelle, and today we'll be talking about we'll be rating United transfer activities in the last 5 years. We know, we United fans, we know it's been a hell of kind of a mixed feelings in the transfer market. We have done deals that we are not so proud of, and we have gone to players that we seem they're going to be the next best thing, like what's that guy's name? I don't remember. I'm just kidding. But we've done some pretty good deals. We have gone some bargains, but we know we are United, and people always try to rip us off and get the most money out of us because we are, used to be the richest club in the whole world, and definitely the best. And so today we're gonna start rating United's transfer activity in the year of in the transfer in the summer of 2015. Okay, so United made when Luis Van Gaal came, we transferred in and we signed Anthony Martial, and Martial it was a record fee at the time for a teenager. Well, okay, this guy is gonna be the next best thing, and we remember it was close to the deadline and all that, and then. We signed Martial. He came in and he banked many goals in his first season. We saw him doing amazing things. Who can forget that amazing performance at Anfield? And then we see, Martial. That moment was awesome. And then we fell in love with him, and many people he became many people's favorite, and he was just amazing. He was just amazing that first season, considering the fact that many were, I'm gonna say shit, but many were not performing at such a high level. I believe we transferred in Schweinsteiger too. Schweinsteiger and Schneiderlin, and at the moment it was like right after the World Cup, when Germany had won the World Cup, and then we brought in Bastian Schweinsteiger, and he had been probably the man of the tournament in the 2014 World Cup, and then we brought him in the next summer, and it was like, okay, this guy, man, he's won almost everything with Bayern, and he's such a talented midfielder, and he had already done it all. He was the player that every young player looked into, and he won everything. And like, okay, we have this gem in our hands. We have this guy, and this guy is going to be amazing. But then things didn't turn out so good. He had amazing performance, and he had issues adapting to the Premier League. We can tell by the way he kind of struggled. We know the talent was there, but we believe we're a little bit too late to transfer him in, because his years, the best years, were already past him, and we missed that Schweinsteiger. We brought in Morgan Schneiderlin as well. We brought him from Everton, I believe. I don't remember, but we brought in Morgan Schneiderlin. Like, man, this guy is gonna rule on midfield. Was it the same time we brought Herrera? No, it wasn't. But we brought him in that year. We brought in Memphis Depay, and then gave him the number 7 shirt, and like, okay, this guy, man, is gonna replace Ronaldo, and it's just going to be amazing. But didn't work out, and it was quite frustrating. I remember when Jose Mourinho came in, I think he played less than 45 minutes for Jose Mourinho. Like, what's wrong with this guy? This guy was deemed to be the next best thing, the next great star in the whole world, and it's just going to be amazing. But it didn't work out. So we did that. We brought Romero as a backup. But it wasn't really as a backup, because we thought that transfer was going to lose the hair to Real Madrid. The hair was gone. So we brought in Romero, but then he ended up being the backup to the hair. And we signed Darmian too. Will you see me looking there? I'm seeing my handout in there. We signed in Matthew Darmian too. Darmian was good in his first, I think his first 10 games was good. It was like okay, maybe now we found someone who can actually replace what we missed in Gary Neville when he left. We found someone who can do that, but it didn't work out. Not quite as we expected. But we kept going, we kept trusting him, and then we saw that only now we saw when we signed Wan Bissaka. Only now we saw how much we have been so poor in that position. The right back has been so poorly used and so poorly applied to the people who came in. They went. I remember Jones playing in there. Sometimes like, okay, this guy is not a right back. We saw Valencia. He did what he could. Sometimes he would give it 10%. Sometimes he would give it 100%. But then he had his ups and downs. And Jose Mourinho was one of these soldiers. What's his name? Valencia was just the Mourinho soldier. Like, okay, this guy, man, he's Ecuadorian, and I used to like him. His drive, his passion, and when we gave him the armband, he became captain. He was so passionate about United, and like, okay, this guy. But then, in terms of quality itself, he just ran and then just put a cross in, and then no one would meet that. They would be at the end of that cross, and it was just awful. It was just awful. So, if we look back and see all the transfers that we made at that year. It was quite sad because it was in the same year when Di Maria went out. I remember the hype around Di Maria when he first came in, because he was tearing it down at Madrid. Let us not get this twisted. At Madrid, he was tearing it down, and probably there was something with the manager at the time he went out. But we thought, here we gave him the number 7. It didn't work out for him, and I'm sad that it didn't work out because that guy is a baller. You put him in the wing, he plays. You put him in midfield, he plays. But it didn't work out for him at United, and he went on. He resurrected his career. He went to PSG. He's become one of the best players in there, and we can see that the talent was there. Maybe something, I don't know if it was the style of play from Van Gaal, or it was just the application of Di Maria, or it was just because Premier League is so tough. We can see, I see it. I see the intensity. I see the physicality of the game. Premier League is just tough compared to the other leagues, and I know everyone may not agree with this, but for me, Premier League is just the best league in the world, and we love it. We love it. We like La Liga, but we just love the Premier League. So the outs, we saw Van Persie going to Fenerbahce too. Van Persie was one of my favorite players at United. I didn't grow up supporting United. I became a United fan 2004, 2005. That's when I became a United fan. I used to support Bayern because of my father. He lived in Germany for many years, and then I supported Bayern. And then I was like, okay, yeah, we support Bayern. But when I supported United, and then I saw this Rooney, I saw Ronaldo. I didn't see the best years of Ronaldo from 2004 to 2008 when he went. It was all good, but I wasn't like a regular fan. I'm not gonna lie here. I wasn't a regular fan. I would just maybe watch the biggest games, like the Liverpool's, the top 6 games. Those are the ones that I would watch frequently and all that. But Van Persie, man, just his style, his technique, he was so classy on the ball, and the way he scored was just amazing. I wish I could have watched the times. I could have been in the time where I could have seen Dwarken York tearing it down. I could have seen all these amazing Cantona. I think Cantona came in the year I was born. But okay, it's exciting moving forward. It's exciting looking back and seeing these transfers from where we were up until where we are right now in the terms of transfer, and I see so much improvement, maybe not just in the team but in the strategy on how we're moving forward. You see the signings Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is making. You see it's like these players belong to Man United. You see one Bissaka, you see Bruno Fernandes, the aura they bring to the club, the happiness, the joy, and it's like you start liking the team again. Like, this is the team that I grew up watching, and these are the kind of players that belong to my club, and this is just so amazing. It's just so amazing. Um, the players that didn't work out for them at United, it's not just that they weren't. Some of them were not really top class players that we deserve to have in our club, but the others, they were just not. And also, it's one of the things that I've been saying. See, I'm just a fan, maybe just like you, of Man United. One of the things that I don't really agree, and maybe I can't do so much about it. Maybe you can't do anything about it too. It's the fact that the change of managers, if the frequent change of managers doesn't help the club, because you see one manager comes in with his philosophies, his style of play. He brings in the types of players that he wants to play for the system that he wants to play. Okay, and then if you don't give him enough time to develop that system and develop and create a team, because just a bunch of players together doesn't create a team. To create a team that they can gel together, they can work together, they can have that synergy in the team. It takes a little bit of time to create that. And so if you change managers every 2 or 3 years, we're not gonna get the time to do that. But not just that. You see, when the other manager comes in, the transfers that we make, they may not work for these players and for this coach and for this system, and then they have to move on. And at that moment, you see, years are passing by, and the clubs that are taking the risk, and they're taking the mindset to stick with a manager and develop a team. You see, they are not wasting so much money in the transfer market. I'm not saying they are not using, I'm saying they are not wasting, because if you sign a player today and then 2-3 years again you have to sell him, and then you don't even get the value because they didn't perform to the level where you can just make profit, you're losing money. And I don't quite understand very well how this works in terms of club finances and all. But in the fan perspective, I just feel they shouldn't just we shouldn't just our board shouldn't just get rid of coaches just like that. So some of them, they didn't work because of the systems and all that. But one player that I know we haven't gotten there yet. But one player that it hurt me so much when we lost, it was Ander Herrera, man. You see, Ander Herrera was, man, his love for United, his passion on the field. He wasn't the best player technically and ability. He is such a very good player. He's a very good player in terms of ability and quality and all. He's a very good player. He's not a top class. But what he gave to the team when he was playing, I remember that game in 2016 against Chelsea, the way he marked Hazard out of the game, the way he was so pivotal in that to win the defeat. It was just amazing. Like, man, this guy. And then we lost him on the free. That was painful. But we're not there yet. So I'm just gonna rate. We lost 92. We're still talking in terms of 2015. We lost 92, and we lost Januzaj. We sent him on loan to Borussia Dortmund. It's another player that didn't quite work out. I remember the hype around him was just so much, but unfortunately, it didn't work out for him. So this video has gotten a little longer. I thought I could talk about the whole 5 years in just, but it's quite impossible to do that. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut it short. So in this video, we talked about the major ins and the major outs. Of course, there were the graduate the graduate players from the academy that were sent on loan, and some of them were sold. But we're not gonna talk. We're just gonna focus on the major players. Okay. So these were the ins. The ins. We talked about Anthony Martial, who is still in the club. Another player who is still in the club who came in 2015 was Romero, the backup goalkeeper. We talked that he didn't come as a backup goalkeeper, he came as a main goalkeeper, but then because of the whole transfer that collapsed from the hair from Man United to Madrid, so he remained the backup. We also talked about Matteo Darmian and Morgan Schneiderlin and Bastian Schweinsteiger, who are not in the club anymore. But yeah, Memphis Depay too is tearing it down at the French league. We're happy it worked for him. It didn't work for him in the Premier League and in our team. So the outs, we talked about Di Maria, Rafael, Van Persie, Nani, and Vitor Valdez, another player and of course Chicharito. You might say Kikarito depending on where you are. I am from Mozambique, so maybe the way it's easier for me to pronounce Spanish names and Portuguese names. But it's Chicharito. His name is Chicharito. He's a Spanish player. I mean Spanish. He's from Mexico, but Spanish. His name is Spanish. So Chicharito, man, I know you love Chicharito. I just know you just love that kid. If you didn't love him, it's fine. Not everyone has the same taste by Chicharito, man. But it was time for him to move on. Maybe you agree, maybe not. But he also went out. So in the next video, I'll be talking about the 2016 transfer. I'm putting everything together, the winter and the summer, just the whole year, the transfer window. So in the next video, I'll be talking about the 2016 transfer, and we'll talk about the ins and the outs and the ones that worked out and the ones that didn't, why it did. And I hope you had a good time. So it's a fairly a new channel, so feel free to subscribe and turn on the notification bell icon so you can get updates whenever a video comes up. So it's you can leave also suggestions on what I could improve. I'm using the webcam of my Mac, so maybe in the next few months or weeks I'll be using a camera and a fairly well set up studio. But for now, I just wanted to share this with you. I don't intend to become a millionaire through YouTube. I just want to put out my thoughts and my feelings about football and about Man United, and maybe I'll start talking about some other stuff. So feel free to subscribe and leave on your comments and your thoughts. Okay, stay well. God bless you.